Okay, Jessica, I'm here looking at your slot machine or jackpot program that you created, and you said you're having some problems with your counters for this. And it's not so much, well, the counters, I think you set them up right and you're doing the right thing. The thing you need to think about here is your logic structure. Okay, so this whole if then else if here. Okay, because do remember, when you make an if then else if like this, if any of these become true, it quits checking the rest of them. All it takes is one of these being true and you're done. Which it isn't a problem for when you have these wins up here, but think about this. Let's say that I check double or whatever, right? And then I win right here. Okay? If this one becomes true and it runs this code, it's never going to do the else if with the other things in here, right? So what I think you need to do is break this out to be its own if then else if, right? So yeah, so I think, what if you, here, let's do something here just to show you what I mean a little bit. Let's say, I'm just going to put an end if in here for right now, just so I can make this, and this is going to be if, actually, what I should do is just take the else off the beginning of this. See if I did that right. Yeah. So let's say that we took this, made it its own separate thing, so we're checking every time to see, did they check for double, did they check free play, right? You could even have, and I think what I would do, instead of subtracting all the, one thing you're looking for is, what's the way I can do this in the least amount of code I have? You've got this where you subtract one in each one of these. Why not have a structure here? It makes maybe a little more sense to deal with all of your payment thing. Here we're just paying for playing the game, right? So if we check double, we got to pay 2 tokens. Else if we check free, we pay no tokens. How about we just, at the end of this, put an else, and we said that you're paying for 1 token, right? Because that way, this takes care of paying right here. If double's checked, we get 2. If free's checked, we take away none. If neither one of those are checked, we just take away 1, right? And that means all these other places where you were taking away 1, you can eliminate all those other parts of the code. Less code means less chances for errors, right? I would say another thing here with this, as far as the not a win, right? Why make life more difficult for you than you need to? If I get all 1s, I'm doing this right here, right? If I got all 2s, I'm doing this here. If I get all 3s, I'm doing here. Isn't anything else not a win? So you could actually eliminate a bunch of this. We don't have to take into account every one of these situations, really, right? We know everything else after. If they didn't win, everything else after that is a loss, right? Not a win. And here again, since we took care of taking away 1 token up there, we could get rid of that right there, right? So see how we're getting a lot less code here just by cleaning up that structure a little bit. So I don't know that I've got everything ironed out for you here, but hopefully that makes sense. The biggest thing that I saw there was you not realizing that, if any of these if-thens come through, when you get if then else if, as soon as 1's true, it quits looking at the rest of them. So you want to make sure you structure it so that it works that way. So if you have other questions and something's still not working for you, let me know. But I think that took care of a lot of the issues you were having there. Good luck finishing it up.